And now we will have Jennifer Alvarado, who recently passed her citizenship test. She will come up and lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. Good morning and welcome to the 56th Annual Adult and Family Education High School Equivalency and Career Pathways Achievement Ceremony. I am Melissa Burkhart-Shields, Director of Adult and Family Education for School District 11. I would like to extend my appreciation and gratitude to those of you attending this special event. On behalf of the staff, I congratulate the 64 students from the class of 2021 who have earned their high school equivalency diploma. Of the 64 students, today there's 26 that have chosen to participate in our ceremony. I would also like to acknowledge the 35 students from the class of 2020, whose names are also listed in our program and earned their high school equivalency diploma. Due to COVID, we didn't have an in-person graduation last year, so they were invited to attend today, and we have one student that is here. I would like to celebrate those of you who have participated in our Career Boost, Career Pathways programming. We partner with Pikes Peak Community College and the Pikes Peak Workforce Center to offer this programming. This morning, we will recognize you for your outstanding achievements. We can do that. Additionally, we will recognize the outstanding students that are with us this morning. Through their hard work and persistence, they've proved to be outstanding role models in our program with fantastic attendance and academic success. I also want to thank the family and friends who've supported all of our students in their educational journey to reach this important day in their lives. Let's give you all a round of applause. I am honored to share the stage with dignitaries from School District 11, our agency partners, and members of the adult and family education staff. Together, we collaborate and share resources to provide a rich educational experience for you and your children. It is through their help and support that we're able to offer programming not only at the Roy J. Wasson Academic Campus, but also at Pikes Peak Community College and the Pikes Peak Workforce Center. And now I would like to introduce our dignitaries. Please hold your applause until everyone has been introduced. Board of Education Director Darlene Daniels. Superintendent of District 11 Schools, Dr. Michael Thomas. Assistant Superintendent of Personnel and Support Services, Ms. Phoebe Bailey. Executive Director of Alternative and Non-Traditional Schools, Mr. Daniel Hoff. Executive Director of K-12 Schools, Ms. Sherry Callback. Executive Director of the Pikes Peak Workforce Center, Ms. Tracy Marquis. Career Pathways Coordinator for Pikes Peak Community College, Ms. Joy Zinconi. Two-Generation Program Coordinator for the Community Partnership Child Development, Ms. Ann Nelson. Refugee and Asylee Director of Lutheran Family Services Rocky Mountain, Mr. Floyd Preston. The Dean of the College of Education for University of Colorado, Colorado Springs, Dr. Valerie Martin Conley. The Director of Grants for School District 11, Dr. Kristen Watkins. The Assistant Director of Grants for School District 11, Ms. Yvette Butler. The Director of Title I for School District 11, Mr. Brandon Comfort. The Community Engagement Volunteer Administrator, Luann DeCleva. The Adult and Family Education, Adult Basic and Adult Secondary Education Program Specialist, Ms. Aurora Umano Arco. Aurora will be retiring this year and has served 23 years in School District 11. Mrs. Johanna Wolf, AFE ESL Program Specialist. Mrs. Emily Ray, AFE Family Literacy Program Specialist. Mrs. Lisa Davey, AFE Career Navigator. Ms. Larissa Kazanowski, AFE Family Advocate. Ms. Joyce Sparks, AFE Teacher. Ms. Rhonda Letman, District 11 staff member and our vocalist this evening. Her daughter, Ms. Caitlin Maxwell, vocalist this morning. We used to have an evening graduation. This is the very first morning graduation in my 16 years, so my script needs to change. Let's see here. Mr. Sage Hagan, AFE graduate and student speaker. Ms. Syeda Al-Masri, AFE student and student speaker. And now, I would like the 46 members of the Adult and Family Education staff and our Pikes Peak Community College Career Boost instructors to stand. These individuals are who make this evening possible, this morning possible, by teaching, supporting, and guiding our students to this important day. Please, let's give them one more big round of applause. And to start off today, we'd like to recognize our outstanding students. Please welcome Emily Ray, our Family Literacy Program Specialist, and Larissa Kazanowski, our Family Advocate, who will be recognizing our outstanding students and their children that attend our program.
Thank you. The individuals nominated as outstanding students were selected by their teachers for demonstrating exceptional hard work and dedication to achieving their educational goals. In just a moment, Larissa will call the outstanding student recipients to the stage. When your name is called, please make your way to the podium to receive your certificate.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our celebration of learning. Farhunda Afshar. Haya Al-Bashara. Jennifer Alvarado. Hamza Banyekbe and her daughter Aya. Kuaku Epse Zambo. Lazaro Bavumiliagi. Catherine Castro. Norma Cisneros Zavala. Janae Padron and her son Ian. Marilac Paz de Araujo. Amador Pizarro Salinas. Seth Russom. Vivian Rodriguez and her granddaughter Paola. We would like to acknowledge the participation of Paola's mother in our program as well. Oh my goodness. Could they come forward, please? And may I have your name? May I have your name? Blanca Maximiliano. Thank you. Please come in. May I have your name, please? I'm sorry? I'm sorry. Sandra Bailón. And here we have Nancy Barrios with Emir and Iker. Nancy, ¿puedes bajar por este lado, por favor? Thank you very much.
Next, we have Rhonda Lutman and her daughter Caitlin Maxwell singing I Was Here by Beyonce.
footprints on the sands of time. No, there was something that I left behind. I leave this world, I'll leave no regret. Leave something to remember, so they won't forget I was here. I lived, I loved, I was here. I did, I've done everything that I wanted, and it was more than I thought it would be. I will leave my mark so everyone will know I was here. I wanna say I lived each day until I died. I know that I meant something in somebody's life. The hearts I have touched will be the proof that I leave, that I made a difference, and this world will see I was here. I lived, I loved, I was here. I did, I've done everything that I wanted, and it was more than I thought it would be. I will leave my mark so everyone will know I was here. I lived, I loved, I was here. I did, I've done everything that I wanted, and it was more than I thought it would be. I will leave my mark so everyone will know I was here. I just want them to know that I gave my all, did my best, brought someone some happiness, left this world a little better just because I was here. I was here. I lived, I loved, I was here. I did, I've done everything that I wanted, and it was more than I thought it would be. I will leave my mark so everyone will know I was here. I did, I lived, I was here. I did, I was here. I lived, I was here. I did, I've done, I was here.
And now, Johanna Wolf will be announcing our Shirley Kircher Scholarship Awards.
Would our scholarship recipients, Christina Johnson, Nikolai King, and Jennifer Alvarado, make your way to the stage? Shirley Kircher was one of the founding members and an early director of adult and family education. She was passionate about giving adult learners the support and resources needed to reach their goals. Upon her retirement in 1978, a scholarship was established in her name, and now, even after her passing, a generous estate gift allows us to continue her work. It is my honor to announce the 2021 Shirley Kircher Award recipients. First, Christina Johnson. Christina Johnson. Christina has a goal to assist people dealing with homelessness. She is a GED graduate here today, having attended 4 days a week to reach this first step in her goals, all while supporting her young family. She will use her $500 award at PPCC in pursuit of a business certificate. Congratulations. Nikolai King. Nikolai, our second recipient, is also a GED graduate here today. You can tell by the attire. He impressed his teachers and the scholarship committee with a strong work ethic and a clear plan to reach his goals as a zookeeper. Nikolai supports a daughter, works full-time, and has already begun his journey at PPCC. He will use his $1,500 scholarship award towards classes in the fall and spring to meet his goals. Congratulations, Nikolai. And Jennifer Alvarado is our final recipient. She is also a new citizen of the United States this year. She will use her $1,500 award towards a degree in graphic design beginning in the fall at PPCC. She stands out in her commitment towards pursuing the American dream. But what's more amazing is her attitude that inspired her teachers, fellow students, and the scholarship committee. It is summed up in this quote from her scholarship application: "You do not deserve your dreams, you deserve what you work for." Jennifer, Nikolai, and Christina all epitomize this wise proclamation. They've all worked hard for this, and thus each of them genuinely deserve it. Congratulations, Jennifer and the other recipients.
And now I'd like to welcome Lisa Davey, Career Navigator, who will be honoring our Career Boost Certificate of Achievement students. Over 125 infant, toddler, and preschool-aged children sang to, danced with, taught, and nurtured. Over 2,400 hours teaching children in person, online, individually, small groups, whatever it took this year. Over 3,000 welds completed, binding metal to metal. 35 welds mastered to attain the metal inert gas or MIG welding certification. Hundreds of computer and IT challenges discussed, memorized, and solved. The Career Boost program offers career pathway classes for adults beginning their careers in early childhood development, welding, and information technology. Going into our 7th year of adult career pathways, Adult and Family Education, Pikes Peak Community College, Pikes Peak Workforce Center, Community Partnership for Child Development, and Alliance for Kids continue to offer opportunities to increase job skills and employment for in-demand jobs in Colorado Springs and the local area. I'd like to introduce our partners and teachers who make Career Boost possible. We have Tracy Marquez from the Pikes Peak Workforce Center, Joy Zinconi from Pikes Peak Community College, Ann Nelson and Danica Stepnick from the Community Partnership for Child Development, and myself from Adult and Family Education. While our cohorts in Career Boost are smaller this year, I must say that our participants demonstrated what it means to persevere and dedicate yourself to a goal. 14 individuals completed their MIG welding certification and are completing the next phase, TIG welding and blueprint reading, this month. 5 are working in construction, 2 in manufacturing, and 1 just was hired for a pure welding job. Way to go. For our IT for customer service participants, completed their Comp ITF fundamentals exams and have transitioned into college training for the Comp TIA A+ exams, all leading to careers in information technology. And I can sincerely say, after the year we've had, we can all use their expertise. And talk about dedication. Our Child Development Associate participants have been on the front lines of taking care of our young children, whatever that means on the day. They have learned new technology, they have adapted to continuing changes in regulations for COVID and care centers. They have supported their young students through difficult times. So earlier, it was said that you don't deserve what you dream, you deserve what you work for. And our Career Boost students, they deserve the moon. So I'd like to call up our attending Career Boost participants to recognize their achievement in welding, information technology, and child development pathways. So if you please make your way up. First, I'd like to congratulate Mariali Oliveira. Congratulations for completing the education requirements for the Child Development Associates. Mariali is continuing to work towards her CDA certification and is employed with Fort Carson's Child Development Center. Congratulations. Next, I'd like to congratulate Kendra Harris for completing the IT customer service course. She is currently studying to take her ITF exam. Congratulations. And congratulations to Madison Haman. She's completed her IT customer service course and attained her certification. She's currently now working towards the next step in her IT career by taking the IT A+ test. So good luck and congratulations. Thank you.
I'd like to announce now our first student speaker. Syeda Al-Masri is a former student from Adult and Family Education who is continuing on at Pikes Peak Community College. During her 3 years with us, Syeda took a variety of classes from as many as 7 different teachers, from language arts classes to career exploration to IT to healthcare and manufacturing. She really knew how to take advantage of everything we had to offer. Her teachers report that in class, Syeda was the glue who brought everyone together. She made sure that everyone participated and felt connected to the class. Syeda was a risk taker. She answered questions even when she wasn't sure about the answers. Syeda was always willing to learn and take instruction to improve. Because of her love for learning, Syeda is here today to share with us her own educational journey. Please welcome Syeda Al-Masri.
Hello everyone, congratulations. I would like to introduce myself and share with you my education journey. First, I would like to thank Ms. Joy and everyone who gave me the chance to do this speech. This is my first time doing a speech in front of such a big group. I really appreciate you guys, and it's a blessing to be here with you and celebrate this special day. My name is Syeda Al-Masri. I am originally from Palestine. My language is Arabic. I came here to America in my early 20s. I got married and I have 3 beautiful daughters. They are now grown and attend UCCS. My husband and I decided to stay here in America because our country is occupied and we were looking for a better place and better education for our children. It was so hard for me at the beginning to live here, away from my family and my friends. It was different culture, different language. So it was a big challenge for me. My husband used to encourage me to learn English by reading newspaper, watch TV, and movies. I remember when we used to go grocery shopping, my husband would disappear when we got to the cashier register. So I would have the chance to practice my English with the store clerk. I remember some of the clerks tried to speak to me in Spanish, which has made me more confused. But I found that most people were polite and patient. They encouraged me to speak without needing to feel embarrassed. I enrolled in the District 11 Family Education Program twice. When my children were little, I attended ESL classes, and later I attended the GED classes. I was very happy for the opportunity to study, to improve my life here, and to prepare for my future. I really enjoyed Miss Joy class, and I made a lot of friends from all around the world. I tried my best to be a good student, and I also enrolled in many extra classes I could that were offered by Miss Carmen. I remember I tried many classes like welding and IT and healthcare because I did not know which one was the best for me. When I was thinking about what kind of job I could do, I asked Miss Carmen for help because I did not know how to start, and it would be my first job in the United States. She helped me by taking me to a job fair, and I applied at 2 companies. They hired me right away as a caregiver for elderly people. I used my teacher, Miss Joy and Miss Carmen, as my reference. I am thankful for them for agreeing to do that. I accepted this job as a caregiver because I'm far away from my mom, and she is sick and paralyzed back home. I'm glad my sisters and brothers are around to help her out, so I thought that if I can't help my mother, I can help other people who need me here. My clients love me, and even my company recognized my hard work because they offered me a sponsorship for a CNA course, Certified Nurse Assistant. I was very happy with my CNA certificate, but I still wanted to know more. I entered Pikes Peak Community College, and I'm currently majoring in phlebotomy, taking blood samples, and hopefully I will continue my studies to be a medical assistant. This is my story, and I wanted to share it with you, to tell you that no matter who you are or what your background is, believe in yourself. Believe that you can do and will do things or study things you never thought possible. It's okay to try many things until you find that you like or what you are good at. Have a good relationship with your teachers. Appreciate them and keep in touch with them because you may need them as a reference one day. Have fun and enjoy this time because this is only the beginning of an exciting future for you. May God bless you in all you do, and happy graduation. Best wishes for a great future. Thank you.
Thank you, Syeda. Imagine in a second language coming up and giving a speech like that. I'm so impressed. Next, we have Joy Sparks. She's one of our adult basic education and adult secondary education teachers. She's going to speak on real versus imitation.
Hello, graduates and guests. I'd like to share my thoughts with you today about living a real life versus an imitation life. An old romantic comedy called Kate and Leopold stars Meg Ryan as a New York City advertising executive and Hugh Jackman as an English duke from the 1800s. Through an accident, the Duke, Leopold, ends up in modern-day New York City and meets Kate, the ad executive. You can imagine how that turns out, but I won't tell you the end of the story. Anyway, Kate is having trouble coming up with an idea for a TV ad for Imperial margarine. She decides that Leopold, with his British accent and dashing appearance, would be great for the ad for the margarine. The Duke agrees and gives a very smooth invitation to the TV audience to try this margarine. Then, as a part of the ad, he takes a bite of a piece of bread with the margarine on it. He grimaces because it tastes so awful, and he refuses to be part of the advertisement. So how does this story apply to us? Imagine if Leopold had continued to endorse the margarine. He would have been living an imitation life, one that was not based on his values and personal experience. I believe that it's important for us to live authentic lives in which we believe in what we are living for and in which we personally experience what we are living for. The sentence I just said was a mouthful of abstract phrases, so I'm going to repeat it. I believe we should live authentic lives in which we believe in what we are living for and personally experience what we are living for. So the first question is, what do I truly believe in? What do I want to live for? For me, I believe that what is happening in the wider world around me is important, and that even if I only have a tiny impact, I can make the world a better place by connecting with and helping others. I also believe that my daughter is a valuable person who deserves to be loved and cared for, even when she comes home with her middle schooler roller coaster emotions. I believe that. How would you finish that sentence? What do you value and want to live for? It's important to revisit this question often. It's so easy to get caught up in the difficulties and complaints of everyday life that we forget that this life is significant. Your life is significant. You might not be able to choose the exact kind of job you want. You can't choose who your bosses are. Mine are great, by the way. But you can choose who you are in each setting that you're in. The last two lines of the poem Invictus by William Ernest Henley read, "I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul." The second question deals with personally experiencing this life that I'm living. You might think, well, of course, I'm personally experiencing my own life. Let me illustrate with a story. We have a kitten, a very sweet and playful black and white kitten. One day, he was chasing a ribbon and falling backwards and coming back for more. While this was going on, my daughter was looking at videos of other people's pets doing funny things. You know I'm talking about TikTok, right? So you see, she was not personally experiencing the funny antics of her own kitten happening right before her. Coming back to the main idea, see, we talk about the main idea in real life, not just for the GED test. The main idea is that we live a real life, not an imitation life. First, by making conscious choices about what we want to live for, and second, by personally experiencing this life, not just watching someone else's life play out before us. So the next time you put margarine or butter on your bread, think about the difference between living an imitation life, which I think is not very rich, versus a real life. Now this is something I can get behind because I've personally experienced it and I believe in it. Thank you.
Thank you, Joy. Our next speaker is Sage Hagan, an HSE graduate, and he's going to talk to us today about the power of perseverance. Sage Hagan is graduating from adult and family education after being with us for 4 consecutive years. During his time with us, Sage worked full-time to support himself, all while reporting to school, plus working diligently outside of school to study to pass the high school equivalency exam. As you will discover from Sage's speech this morning, he faced inconceivable personal hurdles to attain his high school equivalency diploma. When Sage passed his exams, we all celebrated his personal success, for his success became our success. Welcome to Sage.
Good morning, everyone. I'm beyond honored to represent the graduating class of 2020. First of all, I would like to take a moment to thank all of the faculty, staff, administration, family, and friends for your support in us achieving this incredible milestone. Additionally, I would like to thank other people in my life who have consistently motivated me and played a huge role in my success. Thank you to my sister Summer for always being there to talk to and for being a wonderful role model. And also thank you to my oldest brother and sister. Adult and family education has truly been a blessing. The faculty and staff are very welcoming, loving, caring, and extremely supportive and encouraging of students, specifically during our academic setbacks and personal failures especially with all of our great diverse students, population, and demographics. We all come from different backgrounds and have undergone different journeys. This is my story. I would like to thank my teacher who helped to make my goals possible. My first teacher in December 2016 was Susan Garza. She taught me elementary math. Next was Nicole Jolin for math class in March 2017. Also in March 2017, I began language arts with Susan Garza. The following school year, in 2017-18, I continued math class with Nicole Jolin. Nicole found alternative ways to teach us students like myself. For example, she taught us rhymes and songs and movements with our hands for algebra. When I first started the class, I would hate those songs. I could see that other students would get so nervous and embarrassed when new students refused to participate. She'd say, "Come on, so-and-so," and then they do it. And they would soon discover that it works. Her rhymes and hand motions actually work. There was a time when I began slipping up in Nicole's class. I began arriving to class later and later, 15 minutes late, 30 minutes late. One day, at the end of class, Nicole pulled me out of class and said, "Hi, what's going on with you? You need to be on time to my class." That Nicole cared enough to ask me about why I was late made all the difference to me. I started caring more. I started working more to be on time. In 2018-19, I began language arts with Joyce Sparks and then continued on to Maria Williams' language arts class. Just as I felt like giving up, like earning my high school equivalency diploma would never happen, Maria Williams told me, you're doing all right. You're going to graduate next year." Her words gave me the motivation to keep going over the summer. Thanks to Maria's encouraging words, I felt strongly motivated to continue reading for pleasure. I practice on read theory in IXL. I set personal goals for myself in read theory that I would not accept anything less than an 80% score from myself. That meant that I would do some assignments again and again until I got them right. Last year, during the 2019-2020 school year, Karen Gula became both my language arts and math teacher. Karen found the right tools for me. She really figured out the way I learned. She approached math in ways for me that made sense, where previously nothing else had made sense. Then, on March 9th of 2020, just as COVID hit Colorado, I passed my HiSET exam. I passed mathematics. A little more than 8 years ago, I would have never imagined myself standing here. I grew up all over the United States, mainly in Arkansas, with a cult group that identified themselves as Christians. Our cult was cataloged by author Debbie Shriver, who wrote the book Whispering in the Daylight, The Children of Tony Alamo, Christian Ministries and Their Journey to Freedom. We, the kids who were born and raised in this cult, were taught that college was not godly. We did not have science class. In fact, we were taught that all we needed to know about bugs is that they are meant to be smashed. We were hardly given an education. An average class for me was 3 hours per day from the age of 5 to 14. Education was the least important thing. The most important thing was working many different types of jobs. Kids started working at age 8 years old. Also, kids would go to church, they would listen to the pastor's broadcast, and they would attend Bible studies. We as kids were taught that if we left, we would not amount to anything. We would be doomed to hell. We would become drug addicts or cursed. Somehow, I escaped when I was 19 years old. I went into shell shock at that age. Many of the kids that were born there in the compound did not even have birth certificates or social security numbers. I became depressed and planned to commit suicide while making it look like an accident at 19 years of age. Thoughts started running through my head. What if I get crippled forever? What about my siblings and family? By the time I was 20, I got my delayed birth certificate, social security number, Colorado ID, and I got my first job. Then my boss found out about my past. My boss's wife was an elementary school teacher who tutored me. Then I went to a GD prep class here in Colorado Springs, 1.5 hours, 2 times per week. I did great in history, and I read the story, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings by Mary Angelo. I got all or most of the questions right with that story, and my teacher tried to understand why I can answer all of the questions about that story, but not about any other story. Usually I answer the majority of the questions wrong on the other stories. When she asked me about I Know Why a Caged Bird Sings, I shared with her that I got the questions right because I understood the story. I could relate to the story. I understood what it meant to be trapped in a situation and an environment that I had no control over. When one is born and raised into a cult, we believe everything that we are taught. I didn't know what some words meant. I didn't understand that things happening around me were not normal. But eventually, as I got older, I realized that things didn't add up. I watched children being beaten, and things in my mind about God's love didn't match up. Eventually, I realized that the cult leader, our pastor, was lying. This was a dictatorship that we were living in. I was 18 and a half when I had this realization. I left when I was 19. My older brother had already escaped by running away. He was just 14 years old when he left. Anyway, after meeting my boss's wife, I attended GD prep class for 1.5 hours per week for about 6 months. At the same time, I attended tutoring with my boss's wife for 7 months. After that, I found out about Job Corp, and I joined Job Corp in Montana while attending, and where I attended for 2 years and 2 months. While I was in Job Corp, I learned leadership skills along with 2 trades, culinary arts and certified nursing assistant. But what I didn't earn was my high school diploma. I only passed 2 of my high set exams, social studies and science. The irony of passing science early on is that my only real experience with science was squashing bugs. At Job Corps, I got made fun of by 3 students there that I was just a completer and not a graduate. You've been here 2 years? I had completed 2 trades, but their words hurt me right then. I was determined that I wanted my high school equivalency diploma mainly for my own achievement and to be an example to my younger members of my family. In total, it took me 7 years to earn my high school equivalency diploma. While at adult and family education, my teacher, Nicole, would tell me to write goals. Joy would tell me to write essays with goals. While trying to write these goals, I would get angry and frustrated with myself because I never felt like I could achieve the goals I set for myself. In the end, I always so close and yet so far from achieving my goals. I realized that the big goals I set for myself were not realistic for me. What I discovered is that it's important to self-assess, to know where you are in life, and to set realistic goals for who you are and for what your situation is. When you want to see results, you have to realize that nothing comes to you overnight. You have to remain persistent, ask for help, fight to find the right resources. In my darkest hours, Bob Marley's song, 3 Little Birds and Walking Through Nature, is what kept me going. I hope that Marley's words touch you and inspire you to continue to persevere the way that they touched and inspired me. Rose up this morning, smiled with the rising sun, 3 little birds pitched by my doorstep singing sweet songs of melodies, pure and true, saying, this is my message to you. Singing, don't worry about a thing, because every little thing is going to be all right. Singing, don't worry about a thing, because every little thing is going to be all right. Thank you.
Wow, what he personifies the true essence of grit, doesn't he? Our next speaker is Aurora Umano Arco, who has served as our program ABE ASE program specialist for the past 3 years. Aurora is retiring after 23 years in School District 11. She began her career as a high school English teacher right here at Wasson High School. She also taught at Coronado and was the literacy resource teacher, and then moved on to fulfill the role of assessment facilitator for the D11 Educational Data and Support Services Department. In 2013, she opened the Comprehensive Early College, High School, and Career Pathways program right here on campus, which was the first high school in D11 to provide students the opportunity to earn an associate's degree. She is the recipient of the Colorado High School Media Association Administrator of the Year 2017-2018, runner-up for the 2017 Colorado Principal of the Year for secondary schools, and the winner of Pikes Peak Workforce's Champion for Prosperity Award Fall of 2014. Please help me welcome Aurora Umano Arco with her speech called The Urgency of Now.
Friends, congratulations to the 26 of you who passed your high school equivalency examinations and who are able to join us today to celebrate your momentous occasion. Additionally, congratulations to the 95 students total who over the course of the past 2 years managed to complete their high school equivalency diplomas during these unprecedented and historic times of a global pandemic. Friends, you have heard the stories of our 3 speakers today. Syeda emphasized the importance of her education and of all of the positive ways it has impacted her life. Joy emphasized the importance of living in the moment, of being present, and of getting our noses out of social media so that we can live in the here and now. And Sage emphasized the power of goal setting and taking small, actionable steps to achieve those goals. All 3 of our speakers share important experiences, insights, and advice. What they did not emphasize, however, is the urgency of continuing to take action in our lives now. Why now, you ask? Why not next week, next month, or next year? A couple of weeks ago, I was driving home, heading north on I-25. Beside me, in the slow lane, sat a young woman in her full Air Force uniform, driving her Tesla. But actually, she wasn't driving her Tesla. See, both of her hands were actively holding her phone, and she was texting with both hands, while her Tesla was driving itself down the highway. I've heard of the self-driving features of the Tesla, but I've never seen it in action before, yet there it was. According to a recent article in Car and Driver magazine, all new Teslas since 2020 are equipped with a full self-driving computer autopilot that allows the car to steer, accelerate, and brake within its lane. Imagine that, self-driving automobiles. The Herald Tribune newspaper from Sarasota, Florida recently published an article written by global thinker and futurist David Howell. Howell writes that in 2020, Tesla became the most valuable auto company in the world. It set a record of 500,000 cars produced in the year. Tesla has been the leader and the dominant brand in electric vehicles since it was founded 15 years ago. Millions of electric cars will be sold this year. But what will surprise many is the rapid growth of the self-driving vehicle market. There will be driverless 18-wheel rigs traveling across the United States by the end of this year, 2021. Self-driving cars made extensive deliveries during the pandemic, and furthermore, self-driving vehicles will be one of the most significant disruptions in the history of the automotive industry. And self-driving vehicles will comprise a double-digit percentage of all vehicles on the road by 2030. According to the United States Census Bureau, more than 3.5 million people work as truck drivers. Driving trucks is one of the largest occupations in the United States. I wonder what will happen when truck driving and delivery jobs are automated with self-driving vehicles and drones. So why am I taking the time to talk about self-driving cars and self-driving automobiles at your graduation? Because, my friends, self-driving vehicles are just the tip of the iceberg in machine learning and artificial intelligence taking over those tasks that we as human beings and workers have so grown accustomed to doing. Raise your hands. How many of you used IXL this year to assist you with learning the skills you needed to know in order to pass your high school equivalency exams? IXL is the perfect example of machines and technology replacing a teacher. Here's another example. Raise your hand if you recently grabbed a hand scanner and checked yourself out at the supermarket or the hardware store. Yeah. For every transaction in which you are doing the business's work of checking yourself out, you are eliminating the need for an unskilled worker. Now, I don't know about you, but I spent 11 years of my life as an unskilled worker in the workforce. You see, I've been working since I was 12 years old. And from selling parts in an auto shop, to picking potatoes in the potato fields, to working as a busser, a dishwasher, a cook, a waitress, to working at McDonald's for 6.5 years, I've done a lot of different unskilled labor jobs. But what does computerized learning, a reduction in checkouts at the grocery and hardware store, and self-driving cars and self-driving semi-trucks have to do with you? Everything, I'm afraid. Thanks to technology in the form of the internet, the computer, and the smartphone, we are living in an environment that is unmatched and unprecedented in industrial change. The post-COVID world proved that we can do more with fewer people and fewer commercial facilities than ever before. On a side note, my part-time job, in which I'm a mental health therapist, has now shifted to a fully remote, fully online experience. No longer do we need office buildings and therefore maintenance workers and cleaners for our office buildings to do our work. This is just another way that jobs are going away. According to the article, The Changing Landscape of Employment, published by the American Association of Community Colleges, before the pandemic, it was a workers' market in terms of hiring. CEOs from across all sectors and demographics said it was difficult to hire talent because there were not enough potential employees looking for work. But in a post-pandemic world, that is no longer the case. With high unemployment because there were not enough potential employees, and continued uncertainty about reopening, the job market has changed. Many traditional organizations now realize that some work can be permanently done remotely. Some work will no longer need to be done in an office environment, which means it also can be done from anywhere. And companies can hire someone that lives in an area with a lower cost of living and pay them less. So, what can we do about these jobs that are diminishing? Despite American unemployment at high levels, there is a growing shortage of skilled workers. This shortage of skilled labor will continue to be increasing, and it will continue to be a concern over the next 20 to 30 years. Now, not next week, next month, or next year, but now is the time to begin investigating your educational steps. In our current climate, Pikes Peak Community College and our neighboring community colleges are perfectly positioned to provide critical education and skills to those looking for work. The American Association of Community Colleges says that many students are looking at education as a consumer, which is different than it has been in the past. Pikes Peak Community College is able to respond to the needs of local employers and provide skills that are needed to get people back into the workforce quickly. Plus, Pikes Peak Community College offers programs that will serve business and employment sectors with the most need. It's been predicted that those sectors with the most need include healthcare, cybersecurity, teaching, and law enforcement. PPCC and other community colleges can quickly offer industry certifications and two-year degrees that allow you to directly enter the workforce or transfer to a university. If you decide to transfer to a university, do your homework prior to selecting a degree. Make sure that your degree has a demand for jobs Research the job market and know what jobs are in demand before you spend the money to earn a degree. Another excellent option for gaining improved employability skills is to enter an industrial trade apprenticeship program, such as plumbing, electrician, or building trade. These opportunities can be found as easily as a quick Google search of apprenticeship programs in Colorado. On your first day of school, when you entered our program at registration, I heavily encouraged you all to apply to Pikes Peak Workforce Center. If you haven't already done this, I am again strongly encouraging you to do this. If you qualify for their program, the Pikes Peak Workforce Center may be able to pay for part of your tuition that leads to job training and development. Additionally, for those who qualify, the Pikes Peak Workforce Center offers paid internships in high-demand areas. Next, be adaptive. Learn how to learn everything. Just because a job might not exist in 5 years does not mean you should not learn how to do it today. Even some technical careers might not exist in 10 years. We don't know what jobs will be eliminated in the next 5 to 10 years. Prepare now to be able to do anything that comes along your way. According to the Department of Labor, the 7 essential employability skills, also known as soft skills or power skills, are skills that you already are applying, that you have been applying here at Adult and Family Education. These 7 skills are: number 1, positive attitude. Maintain a positive attitude. Remain calm and cheerful, even when things are going wrong, like COVID. Number 2, communication. Hone your skills of communication. Your ability to listen, speak, and write clearly and communicate efficiently is critical. Number 3, teamwork. Teamwork is key. This includes paying attention to office etiquette, company culture, conflict resolution. Number 4, self-management. Especially in the age of online or remote work, self-management is important. Your ability to wake up on time, report to work in a timely manner, remain working throughout the day, and meet the deadlines and job expectations of your work without somebody micromanaging you is an essential component to work success. Number 5, thinking skills. Develop and maintain your thinking skills. These include your ability to problem solve and make decisions. Number 6, resiliency. Remain resilient. Many of us have life experiences that would debilitate others who are less flexible, less adaptive, and less resilient. Remain resilient. And finally, number 6, willingness to learn. Maintain your willingness to learn. Learn how to learn. That you are here, graduating with your high school equivalency diplomas is an excellent start. Maintain your momentum. Commit to becoming a lifelong learner. Further your education, either by attending community college, trade school, university, an apprenticeship program, or the military. Take free classes that are available online. Research the classes at colleges and universities that you don't have the money to take. Download the syllabi from those classes and read the required books for the class. Do not allow yourself to stagnate. Instead, learn, grow, flourish, and thrive. My friends, if you can teach yourself new things, you will become well adapted for the emerging technical landscape that is to come. You will be prepared for the brave new world of self-driving automobiles, self-driving semi-trucks, and artificial intelligence creeping into our everyday lives. If you take advantage of the opportunities that you have now, you will be prepared for the world of tomorrow. With that, my friends, I wish you good luck in your future educational endeavors as you venture into lifelong learning. Congratulations to you on your successful completion of your high school equivalency diplomas, and may God bless you.
Thank you, Aurora. At this time, it is my honor to introduce Dr. Michael Thomas, Superintendent of District 11 Schools. Superintendent Thomas, each one of these students presented before you has fulfilled all requirements for graduation as established by the Board of Education. They are qualified and capable, and they make us all proud. Dr. Thomas, for your consideration, I proudly present to you the Adult and Family Education graduating class of 2021.
Wow, I don't even know what to say after all these speakers this morning. I'm inspired. I'm actually, for the first time probably in a while, I'm almost at a loss of words, and that's pretty hard for me to come by. Sage, to be the speaker of your class is an understatement. I have seen many commencement speeches locally, nationally. Just last week, I listened to the chairman of the Joint Chief of Staffs at the Air Force Academy graduation, and I thought that was a great speech. But what you shared here today is probably the best I've heard in my entire life. And I just need you to know, and your fellow graduates to know, your stories matter. Your stories matter. We all have very unique lives and have taken a variety of paths in our lives that some of us found darkness and some of us found light. But nonetheless, it's our story. And I just encourage each and every one of you to remember what it took for you to get here today, because that's what it's going to take for you to continue to find success in your life. There's no shame in saying, oh, I wish that never happened, or if I could do it all over again, I would never do that. I stand before you today a vessel of a lot of mistakes, a vessel of a lot of poor decisions. And I can honestly tell you that if you asked me, would I ever do it all again and make those same mistakes? Emphatically, I would say absolutely I would. Because it makes me the person I am today. At one of our commencement ceremonies, I talked about this philosophical notion of the law of opposites. And you don't know what something hot is until you know what something cold is. And you don't know what something hard is until you understand what something soft is. And you don't understand what success is until you have failed. It's a critical, important thing in your life to understand and accept and appreciate failure, because that's where learning happens. That's where the learning happens. You know, the mission in District 11 says we dare to empower the whole student to profoundly impact our world. It is a very simple mission statement, but there's some very powerful words in there. And I want you all to think about that, because you are living evidence of this district's mission. You were daring. When life said, no, you're not going to make it, you dared to make it. And this won't be the last time you're daring things in your life. You've been doing it since you were kids. Triple dog dare, pinky swear, all that stuff, right? We've all done it, and we'll continue to do it. But I dare you to go out into this world and be that light to somebody who needs to see someone shine. I dare you to do that. The whole student means not just the academics. That's critically important. But it's also that whole social and emotional aspect that in District 11, we want you to experience. You're going to do great things in your life. And you're all smart. No question about that. But when you're alone and you're in those dark moments in your life, if we didn't teach you the skills of resiliency while you were here in District 11, then we failed you. Those 7 soft skills, quote unquote soft skills, are probably more important than the academic skills you've learned. Academics are technical. You can learn contextual things that you need, whether you're going to become a welder, become a clinician, become an artist, you'll learn the technical trade. But those soft skills, those are adaptive skills. Those are things that we don't necessarily explicitly teach. You discover that within you. It's already there. We just need the right opportunities to bring those out. And that's the whole student. And students just aren't the graduates sitting here. Every single one of us in this auditorium today are students. As much as the phenomenal staff at this school have been imparting, their experiences, their knowledge with you as formal students, they too go home and reflect and say, wow, my students taught me something today. I never would have thought about, and you can fill in the blank. I often tell the story that I wouldn't be where I am today had it not been for a 10-year-old student to save me. I learned more from that young 10-year-old when I was like 20, 21 years old than I've ever learned in all my years of college. He solidified my why, my purpose. I literally would not be here if it weren't for Reggie. My whole dissertation is dedicated to this young man, and I have no idea where he is today. But I was a student of his, probably more than he was a student of mine. Profoundly impact our world. Like I said, you're already great. You've already made great impacts. You've wowed us here in District 11. Now it's time for the world to see you, recognize you for who you are, the skills, the talents, the beauty you represent. I am so proud, as your superintendent, to receive the graduating class of 2021. And I'll close with this quote. It's been my quote of the season. I was actually at a training and somebody shared this quote and I said, that's me. I needed that to end out this past crazy year. And it's by Marcus Garvey. I trust that you will so live today as to realize that you are masters of your own destiny, masters of your fate. If there is anything you want in this world, it is for you to strike out with confidence and faith in self and reach for it. So again, I dare you to profoundly impact this world. So proud of you. I now want to call up Director Darlene Daniels, who is from our school board, to officially confer the graduating class of 2021.
On behalf of the Colorado Springs School District 11 Board of Education, I am pleased to accept the Adult and Family Education Class of 2021 for the conferring of diplomas. You graduated.
Class of 2021, please stand and make your way up to the stage for the presentation of the high school equivalency diplomas. Aurora Umano Arco will be reading your names as you cross the stage.
Tanya Acosta. Brooke Cunningham. Samuel Thomas Duncan. Kelsey Marie Finley. Lisa Marie Gallegos. Kayla Yantiel Gonzalez. Sage Hagan. LaShawn Tamal Harrison. Yandel Hernandez. Yankee Hernandez. Christina Johnson. Nikolai Matthew King. Jasmine Mendoza. Chong Parrish. Zoe Grace Parsons. Brianna Maylee Puckett. Kimberly Ramirez. Brittany Ramirez Navarez. Sylvia Perkins. Seth Russum. Luke Scriven. Paul Michael Sims. Ana Laura Urquijo Quinteros. Danae Rivian Vanterpool. Colin Vogel.
Thank you. Graduates, could you please stand? Ladies and gentlemen, I am very proud to present to you the class of 2021. Graduates, you may now change the position of your tassel from right to left. I would ask that I would like to ask the audience before we start the recessional that you please wait for all graduates to exit the auditorium before leaving your seats. Congratulations.